So this season, Julius Randle has been absolutely playing amazing as he's been putting up all-star numbers while leading the New York Knicks to the playoffs for the first time since 2014. At the making of this video, the Knicks are currently on an 8-game win streak, so they're just playing fantastic and it looks like they're gonna make the playoffs. So in today's video, I'll be discussing Julius Randle's career and his path to stardom, as well as just talking about how great he's been this season. Before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video to help my channel grow, subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content, and to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and comment on this video, start a conversation with me as I respond to all of my comments, and play that intro. Coming into the NBA, Julius Randle was viewed as one of the best players in the draft, and he was selected by the LA Lakers with the 7th pick in the NBA draft. There was a lot of pressure on Julius to be good for the Lakers, since one, the Lakers have one of the biggest markets in the league and they have spoiled fans who are used to greatness, and two, the Lakers were a pretty bad team and their future looked really bleak. But sadly for Randle, in his first game of the season, in only 14 minutes of play, he would break his tibia and he would end up missing the whole of his rookie season. So obviously he had a disappointing season, but for a lot of fans, they still held out hope for him. In Randle's second season in the league, Julius played pretty solid, averaging 11 points and 10 rebounds, but he was very inconsistent with his play, largely due to his play time, since the Lakers coach Byron Scott was very tough on him and would take him out the game for any single mistake he would make, and it kind of made it hard for Julius since he couldn't play freely and was always playing not to make mistakes, which in my opinion is one of the worst things you can do with a young player. Also, this season was Kobe Bryant's farewell tour, and although it was great to see his farewell tour, it made it tougher on a lot of the other young Lakers players because Kobe was a ball hog and there was just a lot of pressure on the Lakers and lots of eyes watching them. But it definitely was far from a terrible second season, and a lot of fans still had high hopes on Randle. On Randle's third season in the league, he had slight improvements, with him putting up 13 points and 8 rebounds on better efficiency than the previous season. Randle wasn't necessarily a bad player this season, but it was another year of a bit of disappointment, and some fans were starting to get worried about his potential and his ceiling. Also, many fans started to write him off and say that he would be a bust in only his third year. In his fourth season with the Lakers, Randle had his best season, and he finally lived up all to the hype that he had coming into the league, as he averaged 16 points and 8 rebounds, shooting 55% from the field. And towards the end of the season, he was playing like a legit all-star, averaging 22 points and 10 rebounds, shooting 56% from the field in 15 games in March. Everyone viewed Randle in high regard, but sadly for Randle and some LA fans, it looked as if the Lakers would have to let him go just as soon as he started playing good, and he'd have to join a new team in free agency, since it looked like in free agency the Lakers were looking to sign LeBron or any other big free agent, and the Lakers did just that, signing LeBron James in a huge move that basically forced Julius to sign elsewhere. He signed with the New Orleans Pelicans for a 2-year, $18 million contract. In Julius's first season on the Pelicans, he flat out played the best basketball of his career, and he just played great. And if the Pelicans were winning that season, he would have potentially been an all-star, as he averaged 21 points and 8 rebounds, shooting over 52% from the field. Many thought Julius' career was on the come up after this season, and there was obviously some who claimed his numbers were empty stats, but for the most part, he played great and everyone viewed him in high regard. And something peculiar about his contract was that he had a player option in the last season, and he decided to use it, and he decided to enter free agency. And in free agency, he would sign an even bigger contract, which was a 3-year, $62 million contract with the New York Knicks. In Randle's first season with the Knicks, although he would put up pretty good stats, that didn't seem bad at all, as he did average 19 points and 9 rebounds, shooting 46% from the field. But when you watch the games, it was clear that he was a black hole on the team, since he would often be a big ball hog who took very difficult shots, and he would often miss open teammates for passes. And he was just absolutely hated by Knicks fans, since it was clear he was one of the biggest empty stats players in the league, and it seemed as if he only cared about his numbers and not winning. So this was a really not viewed well season for Randle. Going into his second season with the Knicks, many people expected much of the same, and they thought he would just be the same black hole on the team, and they didn't think there was even a tiny bit of chance that Randle would leave them to the postseason. But this season, that's exactly what has been happening. As this season, the Knicks, at the making of this video, are currently 33-27, and they're the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, which is definitely not something I would believe if you told me at the beginning of the season. And on top of that, if you told me that they were being led by Julius Randle and that he made the All-Star team, no way. If you told me at the beginning of the season, I would ask if you're okay. But to literally everyone's surprise, Randle has been playing amazing, averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists while shooting 46% from the field and a much improved 41% from 3. This season, he was also an All-Star, and he's been the best player on the Knicks, and he's the biggest reason for their shocking success. Now that I've caught up on Randle's career, I just want to talk about how great Randle has been this season. Randle was one of the more trolled on and roasted players in the league, but now he's turned his career around, and the narrative around his career completely changed around, which is honestly inspirational. And I also think Randle should win the Most Improved Player award this season, since his numbers have gotten a big increase, and he's also leading his team to wins. He went from a slightly below average NBA player, like from his impact and stuff, to an NBA All-Star. Randle has shown to me that this season he's better than players like Domantas Sabonis, Pascal Siakam, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Collins, and many others. So the leap he has taken is just truly great. Randle's improvement came absolutely out of nowhere, and I can tell that he put a lot of work in his game over the summer. I just wanted to give him respect since I haven't talked about him much. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what I said in the video. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content and to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And comment on this video, start a conversation with me. I respond to all of my comments, and I'm out.